Take cover. On this episode of MythBusters, Jamie and Adam get all steamed up. Woo! As they test if an ordinary water heater has the extraordinary ability to fly right through your house like a rocket. Oh! And our rebel trio try on some riveting all-American legends about blue jeans.
Oh, those are good.
Charging off with if you're dragged along the ground by a horse, could your jeans catch fire?
Do you feel any heat? In your pants, I mean.
Then there's the blood-curdling tale that shrinking your jeans by sitting in a bath could squeeze the life right out of you.
Oh my God!
We're gonna have to amputate his leg.
Who are the MythBusters?
It's time to blow some stuff up.
Adam Savage and Jamie Heineman.
That was fun.
Between them, more than 30 years of special effects experience.
This is the kind of thing I do on the weekend.
Joining them, Carrie Byron.
Come over here, you smell that?
Grant Imahara.
He's alive!
And Tori Belleci.
It's starting to feel like a bad idea.
They don't just tell the myths, they put them to the test.
I bet you're wondering why I'm standing here with a plunger.
No, but I'm sure you're gonna tell me.
Absolutely right. We have a plumbing myth. Picture an old house, and in that house is an old hot water heater. The hot water heater is neglected. It's beyond neglected. In fact, so badly that it blows up. But it doesn't just blow up. No, this hot water heater blows up like a rocket shooting up through the roof of the house, hundreds of feet into the air, landing 500 feet away. The fans are going nuts about this on the website. They want us to test it out.
Sounds like fun to me. It gets me all steamed up just thinking about it.
This is a tale of explosive transformation. The water heater, an everyday appliance that sits quietly in homes and businesses everywhere, can apparently build up so much pressure it can turn into a rocket, capable of launching through the roof and into the atmosphere.
Water heaters exploding, taking off like rockets. I thought they had safeties for preventing that kind of thing.
Apparently they do, and we're going to end up with a rocket-propelled water heater come hell or hot water. But first I think we should learn a little bit about what makes them tick, and specifically what would make them fail.
A little water heater 101.
Water heaters are fitted with two main safety devices, a thermostat and emergency cutoff switch to prevent the water from overheating, and a temperature and pressure relief valve to release excessive pressure. They also have hot and cold water inlets and a heating element inside. To find out what needs to happen to make good water heaters go bad, Jamie and Adam are conducting scale tests using small 6-gallon tanks.
Today, all the tests we're doing with the small water heaters are about failure. We're going to set this thing up using instrumentation that monitors both temperature and pressure. Then we're going to make each component, each safety component of this water heater fail until we get the entire tank to fail. Anyone have to go to the bathroom?
Improper installation or lack of regular maintenance can really cause the safety devices to fail. Jamie and Adam are just simplifying the process.
This is the thermostat and the emergency cutoff switch, which the water heater normally comes with. We've taken it off, so we've got no emergency shutoff.
Okay, let's turn on the heat for this myth.
I'm seated in the MythBusters hot water heater explosion-proof safety bunker at the command center, where a bank of instruments are informing us of every possible condition of that hot water heater. Actually, it's two instruments. I've got one on top, which tells me the temperature inside of the water, and one that tells me of the pressure that's building up.
The T&P valve is now the only functioning safety device. So here's how it works. When heated inside a closed environment, water expands and causes an increase in pressure. If the temperature or pressure gets too high, the T&P valve opens.
So in theory, once this thing reaches the pressure that the pressure relief or the temperature relief valve activates at, we should just see it start to spew some water.
Yep.
From H2O headquarters, the guys wait and watch. So people don't get scalded, the recommended set temperature for water heaters is well below boiling point of 212 degrees Fahrenheit.
Look at how fast the temperature's rising, man.
Yeah, won't take long.
When the water gets up to a dangerous 165 degrees, the TMP valve comes to the rescue.
Oh, there it goes.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, look, it's spewing. That's what it's supposed to do.
That's better. For their next test, they're really putting themselves in hot water.
What's next?
Well, next, I think we pull the TMP valve and we start the final failure analysis test in which nobody approaches this bunker until we hear boom or all clear. Now, you might wonder exactly how that's going to happen in real life, and I'm going to play it out for you. A homeowner looks at his hot water heater and sees that there's this thing sticking out in a pipe that doesn't go anywhere. And he thinks, well, maybe that's from some old plumbing. It's dripping water too, so I'll just cap it, stop it from dripping water. Happens all the time.
Removing the TMP valve could cause a serious explosion. So Jamie rigs up an external emergency release so they can defuse the system immediately.
Are we live?
We're live.
All right, let's get everyone in the safety zone.
The pressure slowly builds. Normally, a TMP valve is set to release at about 150 psi. Now, the sky's the limit.
This is excruciating.
Tell me about it. 400 psi.
250 degrees Fahrenheit.
Both the temperature and the psi are climbing steadily when all of a sudden,
Whoa. We just lost pressure. We lost half of our pressure over there.
something in the system is causing the pressure to drop rapidly.
We're at 300 degrees Fahrenheit. I think we're losing pressure somewhere we can't see, and we've just got to abort.
All right, well, I'll pull the valve. That's what it's for.
All right, let's do it.
Jamie triggers his emergency release. When water that's been heated beyond boiling point hits air, it turns instantly into vapor. Great for opening those pores.
Okay, that is indicating it's fully depressured.
Having seen the kind of intense stress they're up against, the guys decide to move out of M5 to somewhere safer.
The PSI gauge just failed. Don't know why, but the main thing is neither Jamie or I feel comfortable doing the test here in the bunker anymore. After watching the amount of steam that came out, knowing how much pressure it takes to make a tank blow, we just want to be far away from this.
The pent-up fury inside this tiny tank has got the guys running for cover.
We need more room, for
Let's
sure.
pack up and move it out.
Okay.
Okay, guys, the next one is as American as baseball and apple pie. It's myths about blue jeans.
Ah, blue jean myths. That'll be cool.
Okay, that reminds me of one of my favorite jokes. You ready? How can you tell the sex of a chromosome?
How?
You pull down its jeans! Get a chromosome?
I get it.
Since their creation during the rough and tumble days of the American Wild West, no one item of clothing has meant so much to so many. Practical, synonymous with rebellion, sexy, and cool, it's no wonder legends about jeans are bursting at the seams.
What's the first myth?
A cowboy falls off his horse and gets dragged by it, and the friction that's created actually causes the jeans to catch on fire.
Okay, that has Tori written all over it.
Why does it have me written all over it?
Yeehaw! To get this tale off and running, and to get the chance to talk like this, the team hightails it over to the Groundy Ranch in Red Bluff, California. With Carrie having injured her leg and Grant in charge of gathering data, it's all up to Tori.
Well, this should be easy enough. We get a horse, we drag you behind it, and see if your jeans catch on fire.
This should be fun.
For us.
Tori is going to be playing cowboy, so he gets himself kitted up in full body padding. While Carrie and Grant chat with renowned stockman John.
So how do you get yourself in trouble? I mean, does your foot get caught in the stirrup? Does it get caught in the reins? I mean, how do you get dragged?
The common thing is being caught in the stirrup, and in the old days, being caught in the rope. And the rope would hang on to you long enough, or it would actually close in on you while it was wrapped around the saddle horn and then just drag you off.
With John being a former rodeo rider, Grant asks the burning question.
John, have your jeans ever caught fire?
Not, I could have really gone with a good one there. All right.
Go with whatever you want.
Well, I was going to tell a story one time, but you know, my pants have been on fire, but not on fire.
Seems like John's not one to tell tales. But someone else on the ranch sure is.
Okay, so the ranch actually has a psychic horse. This is Pistol, and Pistol is going to be able to tell me to predict what's going to happen today. Is this a dangerous thing for us to do? Yeah. I knew it. I knew it. Are the jeans going to catch fire? Yes? No. Not sure. Okay.
By Pistol's reckoning, things could go either way. So to find out for sure, let's get this myth saddled up.
Now, Tori's weight represents a downward force that's pushing the jeans onto the ground. And as the horse drags him along, the friction there is going to build up and hopefully cause the jeans to spontaneously combust.
To try to keep Tori out of kicking range, he'll be towed behind Pistol with a 25-foot-long rope. But John doesn't horse around about the risk.
So I'm relatively safe.
No, you're not relatively safe. 1%, the horse is not going to kick you. That's the only thing I'm guaranteeing because you're far enough away from the horse. But I've seen it where the horse gets over the rope and starts drawing you into him and then kicking you. So don't let him get under the rope.
Thanks for your words of encouragement.
You're welcome, because you need all the help you can get.
Faced with the bottom line, Tori's starting to feel all alone on the wide open plain.
In the shop, they're like, oh, you're gonna get dragged behind a horse. And I'm like, yeah, that sounds fun. But then you get out here and you go, God, this seems like a really stupid idea. And I'm starting to get that feeling more than that sounds like it's gonna be fun.
The fans want to get the down low on this classic spaghetti western scenario. If you're dragged along the ground by an out-of-control horse, can the friction cause your jeans to catch fire? Tori is trying this Saturday matinee myth for real, but he's finding out it's a potential minefield.
I'm looking around, and I'm seeing rocks, and I'm seeing horse dung. Not only is it gonna hurt, it's gonna be very, very unpleasant.
Ooh-wee, this is sure going to be entertaining. So how do they plan to drag his derriere through the dirt?
Pistol looks like he's all ready to go. We've got 20 feet of rope that we've got our cowgirl holding on to. She's gonna ramp up her speed and ride directly that direction.
All right, well, you know what I'm probably gonna do is I'm probably gonna hold on to the rope, start off on my stomach. And then as I'm going, I'll try to flip over to my back so that way I can get as much friction on the back of the pants as possible.
To reduce the hazards, Tori is decked out in top-to-toe denim with a padded safety suit underneath.
Fashion police. Top 10 cardinal rules, denim on denim, no.
And paramedics are on site. Expert cowgirl Neela will be riding Pistol, the psychic horse.
Wow, this rope's a lot shorter than I thought it was gonna be.
To calculate the hotness of Tori's rear, the team has got some specialized equipment.
We have an infrared surface thermometer, so we'll measure how hot the jeans are before the run, 103.5, and compare that to how hot they are after. And I'll just be carrying this just in case.
Stretched out 25 feet from Pistol's back legs, Tori should be out of kicking range. Giddy up.
Okay, you gotta be on your back.
As Tori is pulled across the ground, he realizes that being a movie stuntman is not as glamorous as he once thought.
Oh, hit a patch of dung there.
I was just trying to hold on to the rope. I was hoping that the horse would stop soon. I just kind of kept my eyes closed and my mouth shut.
Tori's cheeks clock up some serious speed.
All right, we're topping out at 20 miles an hour.
But they don't even generate a puff of smoke.
Okay, flip over, flip over. Okay, got it.
That was great. Can we do that again?
116 and a half.
Post-run, Tori's posterior temperature has increased by 13 degrees.
Do you feel any heat? In your pants, I mean.
Yeah, definitely. The friction did add some heat, but I mean, these pants aren't smoking.
Then let's ride again.
Round 2.
And to try and increase the amount of friction, ramp up the speed.
All right, good to go.
Drag that no good varmint out of town, Pistol. At a quicker pace,
They're going way faster this time.
Tori and the dung are really flying.
Oh my God, they're topping at 30.
I sure hope he doesn't have a date tonight.
This time, we went a little bit faster. A lot faster, I felt like. I felt like I was bouncing around a lot. My head was going all over the place.
When his gluteus maximus finally grinds to a halt, our vigilant fanny assessor rushes in.
It's 145 and a half degrees.
Whoa.
So an increase of 34 degrees.
Still, it didn't catch on fire. And that's kind of what I figured. I figured the jeans were just going to tear away before they caught on fire.
Tori could sell his distressed denim for a fortune, but fire from friction was fiction.
Tori did experience an increase in temperature of his clothing, but he did not burst into flame. Both the jacket and the jeans are safe for now.
But this myth isn't done and dusted yet. Team Tail End has some final tests to rustle up.
Explosion danger lurks in thousands of typical hot water heater installations because the great majority have either improper protection or no protection at all.
Is the tale of the water heater rocket really true or just over-the-top scare tactics? To find out, Jamie and Adam have arrived at the wide-open spaces of Alameda Naval Base.
So the very first thing we're going to do is make this bunker into a safe haven for all the people on the crew to be able to monitor the blast. And the second thing we're going to do is make a blast for all the people to monitor. We're going to blow up that little thing once and for all.
To attain liftoff, they're not adding explosives of any kind, just plain and simple heat and pressure.
It may help you to think about this in terms of just a pure release of energy. All we're doing is putting energy into the water heater in the form of electricity converted to heat. We're not letting that energy out in any way. Now, the difference between a rocket and a bomb releases all of its energy in every direction at once, and a rocket releases all of its energy over a little bit longer period of time in one single direction. And that's what we're looking for here.
The same as their scale tests, they're using a 6-gallon tank. And to recreate real-life circumstances of shoddy installation and neglect, have made a few adjustments.
The electronic cutoff switches and thermostats, gone. The temperature and pressure valve, gone.
The power from a remote generator is switched on.
Okay, Adam, we're live. We're hooked up. We're running about 25 amps, so everybody be on alert. Over.
And our little heater has his moment in the sun.
Well, as far as I can tell, everything's good to go.
I hope we get it to blow this time.
Yep.
I'm tired of watching the heater not do anything.
Third time's a charm.
In a healthy appliance, the cutoff switch would activate before boiling point, and the pressure release valve at 150 psi. But our patient is sick, and his temperature's rising rapidly.
All right, so we're at 7 minutes, almost 40 psi and 250 degrees Fahrenheit.
270 degrees, 53 psi. Okay, we're at 20 minutes, 370 degrees, and 190 psi.
Suddenly, his fever breaks.
That's a failure, but that's not an explosion.
It was pretty spectacular. This thing bathed in a cloud of hot, scalding steam and 300, 400 degree water. It's ludicrously dangerous.
6 gallons of water turned into 9,600 gallons of fissuring vapor. But even with all that force, the tank didn't go for a ride.
The small tank's probably made with the same gauge of metal as a medium-sized or large-sized tank, which means it's going to be exponentially stronger because there's less surface area for the pressure to act against. Let's get a bigger heater out here. Try this again.
Okay, let's do it.
A bigger tank may give the guys the heave-ho they need.
All right, death by shrinkage. This is the one where the woman puts on a very tight pair of jeans and sits in a bathtub for 6 hours.
Yeah, I've heard that's how you get the perfect fit.
However, they end up killing her.
Oh, maybe not the perfect fit.
This myth is a fan-side denim demand. A woman trying to get her jeans to fit just right sat in a hot bath for 6 hours. The heat caused her jeans to shrink and legs to swell, and the pressure cut off her blood circulation. Then it was curtains. To find out how this death by denim scenario might be possible, Carrie has an appointment.
Once again, we have another one of those myths where the worst case scenario is death. So before we put any of our hosts into any sort of mortal danger, I've come down to St. Luke's Hospital to talk to the head of cardiology.
Hi.
Dr. Edward Kirsch, MD, explains why constriction on the legs can be harmful to your health.
So, is this even possible?
Well, I hate to say that it is possible.
Really?
Really, because I do love tight jeans. But there is the possibility that you could do yourself some damage. There are two types of circulations in the legs. One is the arterial circulation. That's the high-pressure circulation of blood flowing down into your legs. But once that's done, the blood has to come back up. That's a low-pressure situation. You could create a clot. Then that could travel back up and hit your lungs and produce something called a pulmonary embolism.
You mean like DVTs that can really kill you?
Exactly, DVT, and it can be a fatal occurrence.
Well, now that I've talked to you, I'm starting to feel like this is more dangerous than I had originally thought.
Armed with her alarming information, it's back to M7 to recreate this potentially fatal bath time scene.
I'm ready.
Using Grant as the model, their first task is to make a realistic pair of fake human legs. Jim Morrison, eat your heart out.
Okay, I'm sorry.
Tori begins plastering Grant's shapely gams so he can make a mold.
We gotta hurry up and get you on that float. What I need to do is make a cast of his legs. We're gonna fill it with a material that's similar to flesh. We're gonna put veins in there so that way we can see if those jeans do start constricting around those legs, it cuts off the blood circulation.
How about those giants?
Yeah.
When the plaster hardens, Tori continues making the molds while Grant rigs up an old tub with a blood pumping system.
Now it starts out with an aquarium pump with this vessel, and it will be filled with actual blood. Blood's going to be pumped through this tube to valve number 1, which regulates the pressure. Now this goes into the tube that would lead to the leg, which is inside the tub. Jeans are constricting. Finally, comes out here.
Meanwhile, Tori inserts surgical tubing that will act as the low-pressure veins in each limb. He places them 2 inches below the surface, just like in the human body. Then he fills up the hollows with permagel.
We're actually going to focus on the thing that is most likely to constrict and therefore cut off the blood flow, and that is the vein, which brings back the blood to the heart and is a lot weaker than the arteries, which carry the blood flow from the heart. Don't block the blood flow. Don't do it.
Now to dress Grant's legs in a pair of new, shrinkable jeans.
There's no way of doing this without it looking creepy. I know.
Next, they place the legs into the tub and attach them to the valves. Then Carrie and Grant fill up the reservoir for the veins with pig's blood.
Grant is like Dr. Frankenstein. He's a genius, a demented genius.
Grant checks the flow to make sure it's running through the veins at the normal human rate of about 1 liter a minute.
All right, 475 milliliters. So this, from now on, is going to be our level of regular flow. If there's any deviation from this, then we'll know that the genes are causing constriction and possibly potential death.
So I guess this would be a good time to explain, why do jeans shrink?
Yeah, shrinkage is all about chemical bonding. Your jeans are composed of cotton fibers, and the cotton fibers are composed of molecules. The molecules join together to form long chains called polymers. Now, the polymers themselves are quite strong, but the forces that hold them next to each other, they're much weaker hydrogen bonds.
That's right, and when your jeans are first made, the cotton fibers are spun and stretched out on a loom. It's a huge amount of stress to put on those hydrogen bonds, and many of them break. But new ones are formed in their place, but keeping the cotton fibers in that stressed out state.
And the thing is, the jeans want to return to their natural relaxed state, but it requires a large amount of energy to break the hydrogen bonds.
And throwing your clothes in the washing machine with the heat and the detergent and the dryer, or even a hot bath, will do just that. And the result of broken hydrogen bonds is shrinkage.
In the team's shrinking jeans of death bath test, the final step is to fill the tub with piping hot water.
I am definitely predicting that we are going to get some loss of float in this experiment. I think it's entirely possible.
Time for a nice relaxing bath for 6 hours, and possibly all eternity. Can an ordinary, everyday water heater become a rocket so powerful it can blast through a building? So far, Jamie and Adam have let off a lot of steam.
There we go.
Whoa! But couldn't send a small 6-gallon tank skywards. This time, they're using a 30-gallon tank and have a new strategy to add some extra thrust.
I'd like to fill this 80% full.
Okay.
So let's put 24 gallons in here. We may find this like perfect relationship between water and steam for getting the maximum amount of pressure.
In daily life, a water heater is an appliance nobody normally takes any notice of. So to mimic one in serious neglect, Jamie and Adam disable its safety devices. Once again, it's time for launch and to man bunker boiling over.
By the time we're done with this, we'll actually know what we're doing.
At least one of our crew seems to think they'll get it this time. Never has a single water heater been covered from so many angles. Maybe all this attention will raise them from their D-list apparatus status.
Okay, now we're at 160 PSI. It's officially a no-go zone. Anything goes from here on in, so stay clear.
These pressure vessel ones are really difficult because they involve tons and tons of waiting, and it's excruciating. It's really boring. The suspense is killing me.
After an excruciating 50-minute wait, they achieve liftoff.
Wow!
That was at about 350 PSI.
The heater travels in a straight trajectory into the air so high, you could order a pizza while you're waiting for it to come back down.
Wow, no, it just came down. There it is. It came down like 40 seconds later. Oh my God.
This was a really serious explosion.
Whoa!
I mean, even though this is just a water heater, you would be in danger of shrapnel hitting you. You could get severe burns from the steam. And not only that, the shock wave was really significant. I mean, the whole area was reverberating.
Adam's just seen the most beautiful thing we've ever filmed on the high speed.
Oh, that's one of my favorite booms we've ever done. Just water and pressure. Look up top, you can see the tank breaking through the casing. Boop, there it goes. Take it off. Wow.
The boosters were separating.
Yeah, exactly.
You know, what we just saw isn't just about pressure, it's about steam and superheated water.
Right. I mean, everybody knows that at sea level, at atmospheric pressure, water boils at 212 degrees Fahrenheit.
Yeah, but as the pressure increases, so does the boiling point. So, for example, at 350 psi, the boiling point is 438 degrees Fahrenheit.
And this all means that when that hot water heater fails and releases that superheated water, it instantaneously turns to steam.
Yeah, and that 30 gallons of superheated water, it goes to 30,000 gallons of steam in an instant.
Wow. No wonder it was so spectacular.
But there's one even more spectacular way for the guys to push this myth through the roof. Put the water heater into the house.
Do we have a house?
No, we got to build one. You ready?
Damn.
Wearing uber-tight jeans has been blamed for a host of ailments, from the dreaded muffin top to infertility. But how about death by shrinkage? Team Genius is trying to test the viewer-requested myth that if you try to shrink your jeans by sitting in a hot tub, the constriction could kill you. Their test is all set up, so let's flow.
This is where we're at with the shrinking genes of death. We have our fake legs with our veins running through them and the blood's running through the veins. We have the genes on the legs and the legs are submerged in the hot bathtub water. We're gonna leave them there for 6 hours because if the genes are constricting and the blood flow slows down, it could potentially kill you.
With unwashed, shrinkable jeans able to constrict up to 3 inches in hot water and the veins lying 2 inches beneath the surface of their legs, enough of a squeeze to slow the flow could be possible.
We got a bleeder. You know, our researchers found a lot of interesting facts about tight clothing. In New Zealand in 2006, a kid was trying to shrink his jeans by wearing them in the bathtub. And to get them even tighter, he laid out in the sun wearing them. They got so tight he couldn't get them off and they had to rush him to the hospital.
Yeah, actually, the doctors were saying that he was in danger of losing his legs. If you cut off circulation too long, the muscles can die within a matter of hours. It's a very real, very serious condition called compartment syndrome.
Who knew tight clothes could be so dangerous? I think we should just go back to wearing fig leaves.
As the team continues to monitor their tub test, it seems to be bringing out the creature of the night in Carrie.
This myth is actually kind of beautiful to me. For some reason, I just think blood's really pretty, so this isn't grossing me out at all. It's just kind of a neat little blood fountain.
But after a full 6 hours of constantly monitoring their neat little blood fountain, there's barely any change in the rate, and that means there's not enough constriction to kill.
Well, we ran the blood through our veins and our mock legs for 6 hours, and unfortunately, or fortunately, we did not get any decrease in flow. And this was with stock shrinkable jeans.
The only way to try and wring some results out of this myth is to do it for real.
So what's your waist size?
32.
So 30.
So Carrie goes to help Grant pick out a form-fitting pair of denims.
Oh, that was perfect.
When I go jean shopping for myself, I walk into a department store, I get the jeans, I pay for them, and I leave. I'm done in 5 minutes. This is going to be an excruciating 3-hour experience.
Grant, you have no idea how excruciating.
This isn't happening.
Oh, those are good.
Normally, the biggest worry about buying designer jeans is the price, but not this time.
My worries are the potential for death due to a blood clot forming in my leg because the jeans have cut off my circulation. Other than that, it should be easy.
Since prehistoric times, friction has been used to set things aflame. But the fans want to know if this force can also set fire to your jeans. To answer this burning question, Tori bravely had his denim-clad derriere dragged along the ground by a galloping horse. But all he got was the manure-washed look.
I think I've had enough.
To reproduce the speed of a horse in full galloping stride, Tori sets up a belt sanding rig to represent the bumpy surface of the ground. And to represent a human, he outfits a ham hock.
I can honestly say I've never stuck a piece of pork in a pair of jeans.
Their cool swine is secured in place. Then they take its temperature.
69 degrees. Ready? Here we go.
The ignition point of cotton is about 250 degrees. The belt sander provides a consistent surface that the denim can be grated across, hopefully upping the friction factor.
I can see the jeans are starting to fray.
The smell of smoky bacon is in the air.
Get some of this, man. You're missing out.
But it's still not being cooked.
All right, shut it off.
This is why cut-price dermabrasion is never a good idea.
We turned it into leather. Still only 138 and a half.
138. It actually ripped through the jeans. The jeans are no longer in existence.
The jeans are shredded.
They've doubled their temperature increase from their experiment with Tori and Pistol, the psychic horse. However,
your jeans are gonna disintegrate before they catch on fire.
Unless we've got, something else that catches it on fire. It's not gonna be friction.
But nothing comes between the MythBusters and a result. Finally, they've got the look.
Clear. And that, my friend, is what it takes to set your jeans on fire.
Yeah, torch.
Can this kind of damage be caused by your water heater? To find out, Jamie and Adam have successfully launched a 30-gallon water heater 500 feet into the open air. Whoa! Now, to really blow the lid off this myth.
That hot water heater flew into the air. That's amazing.
It wasn't contained. It doesn't tell us whether it would make it through a building or not.
Well, and that's our next step, I think. Let's build a building around that hot water heater and get it to fail and see what happens.
And we'll have to build the roof to code.
Absolutely, I totally agree. Then we'll know if it happens in our building, it would happen in your house. I can't wait.
Only the MythBusters would take delight in building a house from scratch in anticipation of destroying it.
It's going to take me a few hours to build it, but you'll get to watch it in all of about 10-15 seconds.
So let's get this time lapse started. First goes down the floor, which they tile in Deco-inspired black and white. Next, they unpack their shining centerpiece.
Bada bing, bada boom.
A 52-gallon water heater. This size would typically be used by a family of 4. Once again, they disconnected safety devices as if it's faulty or needs a service.
There we go.
It does add a charming focal point to the room, doesn't it? Then they close it in with walls and windows. Here's hoping they're double glazed.
Hi, everybody. Welcome to the MythBusters Clubhouse.
Now, to create a typical water heater home scene with the lady of the house enjoying a relaxing bath.
A little steam bath.
Remember, their cozy cottage is no balsa wood and hobby glue construction. Jamie and Adam are building the roof to exact California Code building regulations.
In order to make sure we're getting this right, we've actually built this roof to code. It's identical to any kind of roof any normal hot water heater would be meeting on its way into the sky.
The roof is lowered in place and secure. Now for the final touch.
All right, everybody, we're gonna paint this thing. We wanna start from the bottom and move to the top and paint everything except the black shingles, everything you can see. Neatness does not count.
It's not exactly a subtle shade, but salmon just doesn't say MythBusters. So what's Jamie's tank-tossing projection?
If the myth is true, the water heater in that house is going to take off like a rocket and go right through the roof. Whether I think that's going to happen or not, I'm not so sure. I think maybe if we had a taller roof so it had a little bit of acceleration room, I'm not sure whether it's a bullet really, but more of a big woof.
Jamie and Adam's impressive construction skills have created a house fit for the likes of Little Red Riding Hood. It's almost a shame to make it go, whoa!
jeans are so tight. They were clinging to her skin.
Tight jeans look very foxy, but can they strangle the very life out of you? The theory is, if you sit in a hot bath trying to get your jeans to shrink, the pressure could cut off your circulation, causing a blood clot that kills you. Grant is courageously offering his own legs to experiment on, but the team is taking no chances.
Grant is going to be our guinea pig. He's going to put on the tight jeans, sit in a hot tub, but we brought him here to a hospital, so in case anything goes wrong, if a clot starts forming, the doctors will be here, they'll be monitoring him, make sure that he doesn't die.
First, Grant changes into his brand new, unwashed, shrinkable jeans. An unfortunate result of size denial is emerging already. A hot bath has been prepared for Grant to slip into.
Do you want to back in and we'll just lower you out?
Ooh.
Is it nice?
Nice.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Now, all he has to do is sit back, relax, and wait for any warning signs.
So you talked to the doctor, right?
Yes.
What are the warning signs that I should be looking for if a clot is starting to form?
Well, we're talking about constriction here, so your legs are going to be falling asleep. Numbness, pins and needles. When you can't feel your feet anymore, probably a good sign that we need to do something.
Okay, good.
As Grant lets his troubles and cares get taken away, Carrie and Tori keep a close watch.
Why is there all those air bubbles coming out of your pants? There's a lot of them.
So how's he feeling so far?
I have to say, I'm feeling a little bit of discomfort in my stomach, but nothing that's unbearable. It's tight, no doubt about that. But I don't think it's life-threatening at this point.
To make absolutely sure there are no blockages forming, medical technician Keith checks his condition using a Doppler machine.
So if a clot was forming, what would it look like on that?
In the veins, you would not be able to see the blue venous blood flow because it would just be obstructed. There would be no way of blood getting down or up. In the arteries, you would see just no flow.
But fortunately, Grant's leg veins are flowing freely after 6 long hours of being submerged and continual monitoring throughout.
How you doing, sir?
Fantastic.
This is a good day at work?
It's an excellent day at work.
Keith gives his final verdict on Grant's condition.
Are you seeing constriction?
No, it's got beautiful flow still. Absolutely no obstructions or restrictions.
Are we gonna have to amputate his legs?
I don't think you're gonna have to.
Well, that's good news. Now all they have to do is get Grant out of this denim shrink wrap.
You know, you may have to cut me out of these.
Let's see.
That's
Let's
what I've
see.
been looking for.
Oh, see how tight they are. Oh my God!
Wow.
Look how tight those are.
Ooh, they're capris now.
So how are they going to summarize this gripping life or death jeans legend?
Well, I guess this one's looking busted. Grant didn't die, and we didn't have to amputate his legs.
You sound a little disappointed.
Yeah, I'm not gonna lie.
We didn't have any loss of flow in either the fake Grant legs or the real Grant legs.
Well, perhaps someone who wasn't in as peak physical condition as me might experience some loss of blood flow.
Well, if that's the case, then we're gonna have to test hundreds more people to really find out.
Well, we know that DVT and compartment syndrome are very real conditions, and constricting blood flow to your legs for a long period of time is never a good idea. It's okay, it wasn't your look anyway.
Good. I'm willing to let go of the muffin top.
Yes, but is the muffin top willing to let go of you?
The buildup of steam under pressure can cause many things to go off. But how about a water heater bursting right through your house?
Okay, have you been paying attention? If you haven't, I'll recap. We're investigating the myth about hot water heaters failing inside people's houses, behaving like rockets, and shooting out through their roofs. So we tested this first in a small scale with a 6-gallon heater, and it didn't blow up so much as fail, like psh. So we went and got a 30-gallon heater, and it blew up perfectly, just like a rocket. We decided to go full scale, 52-gallon heater, built a house around it, and we're just about to see what happens when it fails.
To mimic a real-life situation, the roof of the house has been constructed to California Building Code specifications. And the water heater contains no explosives. They turn on the power, hunker down, and wait.
You feeling ready? Everyone's in position? Cameras are all rolling?
Yeah. We got a nice little red house out there sitting
Isn't it
out,
pretty?
you know, like everything's rosy.
Rosy on the outside, but roasting on the inside.
Okay, everybody, we're at 300 PSI. That's twice the tank rating. Keep your eyes peeled because it'll go any minute now.
As the pressure inside the tank mounts, so does Jamie and Adam's heart rate.
315 PSI.
Oh, this is killing me.
320.
Any second.
325.
This is excruciating. This kind of stress on a regular basis can't be good.
No, shortening our lifespan.
We're gonna make it to 350. Oh!
Suddenly, the heater launches and tears through the roof like it's tissue. You could practically have a 3-course meal while you're waiting for it to come back down.
Look at the house.
What house? I don't see a house. I don't know what you're gonna be talking about.
This actually surprised me. The house was no hindrance whatsoever to the rocket. It probably would have gone through several houses like this before it stopped going.
It's like a fairy tale come true. The water heater huffed, it puffed, and it blew the house down.
It just goes to show you, you know, there's danger everywhere. Did you know what was lurking in your basement?
The guys inspect what's left of their once charming home.
The bottom of the tank went from concave to convex, probably in a split second. There's a hole in the roof. It had to go through 2 layers of 2x4 trusses in order to make that hole, and yet it totally did. And it did it without breaking any of the 3 windows in here. That's a rocket, my friend.
Yeah.
Not a bomb.
The trajectory and form of the 500-foot-high rocket-like blast is revealed on the high speed.
Oh!
I gotta say, it's more interesting than an actual explosive explosion because the steam is just erupting everywhere and completely disintegrating. It's different. It's more elegant.
Yes, it was like a lovely, delicate water heater ballet, but deadly.
So our researchers have found cases of this actually happening.
Indeed, in 2001 outside of Seattle, a burrito shop's hot water heater exploded, went right through the roof, and apparently flew 439 feet into the air.
And there was one in Minnesota where the water heater went through all the floors of the house, continued 150 feet in the air, and it was so bad that it knocked the house off its foundation and it had to be condemned. 2 people were injured, killed a dog.
Yeah, it's real bad stuff.
So the moral of the myth is, even though you use them daily, don't take your water heater for granted, or there may not be a happy ending. And test your relief valve.
So what I hope that people get out of this episode is when they see that pipe sticking out of their water heater that doesn't go anywhere and it's dripping water, that they don't go, oh, maybe I should cap that. Hey, look! It's a hole in the roof! I'd call that. Can I wrap this up yet? Myth confirmed!